Now broadcasting from his hidden bunker and fully stocked bar, it is the Saturday Report with Colt Sebastian Taylor.
Hello, my friends, and welcome to the Saturday Report with me, Colt Sebastian Taylor, adventurer, entrepreneur, and amateur Hollywood Walk of Fame curator. And welcome to the Saturday Report with me, Colt Sebastian Taylor, where I review news stories this week because, everyone's busy. So these are some of the stories you may have missed this week. But before we get started, I have to tell you, if you need a social media management tool, there's no one better than socialbee.io. They are the folks to use to keep all your social media profiles organized, including the Facebook, the Twitter, the LinkedIn, the Instagram, the Pinterest, the Google My Business, and TikTok. You can structure content into categories. They've got Unsplash and Giftly integrations, track your link performance, have multiple workspaces and team collaborations, recycle evergreen posts. It's just really great. You can try them out 14 days for free. No credit card, no password needed. Just check them out. And after 14 days, I think you'll like them as much as I do. Be sure to check out socialbee.io. All right, my friends, let's get started with this week's Saturday Report. First up this week, Macaulay Culkin of Home Alone fame received a star on the Walk of Fame in Hollywood, celebrating with close friends and family. He is the 2,765th star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Gave a speech also there to celebrate his star was Catherine O'Hara, who played Macaulay Culkin's son in the beloved Home Alone 1 and Home Alone 2. Also there was his fiancée Brenda Song and his two sons, as well as Natasha Lyonne. O'Hara and Lyonne were among the guests who spoke at the 43-year-old's long career in Hollywood. During the speech, Macaulay Culkin thanked those who helped him before he addressed his family. He looked at his fiancée and said, quote, "I would like to thank Brenda. You're absolutely everything. You're my champion. You're the only person happy for me today. I am. You're not only the best woman I've ever known, you're the best person you're the best person I've ever known." He wanted to say, "You give me purpose, you give me family, and after the birth of our two boys, you've become one of my three favorite people. You're somewhere in there," he said to the crowd, and they laughed. Catherine O'Hara, who played the mother, said, quote, "Home Alone is, and always will be a beloved global sensation. The reason families all over the world can't let go without watching it and loving Home Alone together is because of Macaulay Culkin," according to her. At the very end of his speech, Macaulay Culkin said, "In the spirit of the holiday season, I just want to say Merry Christmas, you filthy animals," after he thanked everyone who helped him over the years. Also at that Hollywood Star event were his two good friends, who I wasn't aware he was good friends with, Seth Green, who he first met in 2003 during Party Monster, and then he directed Macaulay Culkin in his first movie Back After 10 Years a few years ago, as well as Paris Jackson. So, looks like it was a very good time. Macaulay Culkin doing well for himself. Hollywood Walk of Fame. Also joined there by his brother Rory Culkin as well. So congratulations, Kevin McAllister, on a wonderful addition to your career on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Very, very great stuff. So Home Alone, one of my favorites. So Macaulay Culkin, be sure to check out Home Alone this holiday season. It truly is a classic. We now go to the Philippines, where the world's quote-unquote saddest elephant died in a Philippine zoo where she lived alone almost her entire life, which is why she was considered to be the saddest and loneliest elephant in the world. Tributes poured in for the elephant named Molly, who was a star attraction at the Manila Zoo for 4 decades, 40 years. But it was the the elephant was the subject of a long-running concern for animal rights activists, including Paul McCartney, who asked authorities to transfer the elephant to an elephant sanctuary. The elephant died on Tuesday, announced in a Facebook video by Manila Mayor Honey Lucuna. Said the visits to the zoo to see Molly were among her happiest of her childhood memories. Last week, the Asian elephant was seen constantly rubbing her trunk against the wall, which indicates an elephant is in pain. Later in the week, she was found lying on her side, breathing heavily. Veterinarians administered vitamins and antihistamines, but she then died later that afternoon. An autopsy found that she had cancer in some of her organs, as well as a blockage in her aorta. Molly was gifted to former Philippines First Lady Amelia Marcos by the Sri Lankan government in 1981 when she was 11 months old. The Manila Zoo was also the home to another elephant, Shiva, who arrived in 1977 and died in 1990. Molly had been the only elephant since then. At the height of the pandemic, the Manila Zoo served as a vaccination center for children, where Molly kept children entertained. Animal rights activists criticized the decrepit conditions of the Manila Zoo and said its keepers were ill-equipped to provide Molly with proper medical care, whereas zoo authorities argued that the elephant was kept in the best captivity, in captivity since she had never known life in the wild. In a letter to President Nico III in 2012, Paul McCartney described the footage he saw of Molly in captivity is heartbreaking. He wrote, quote, "I am writing to add my voice to many others who are supporting the transfer of Molly, the lonely elephant currently being held in the Manila Zoo, to a sanctuary in Thailand as soon as possible." Former Smith's frontman Morrissey made a similar written appeal, but Molly remained in the Manila Zoo. Quote, "One of the world's saddest elephants has passed away. Rest in peace, Molly. You deserve so much more." That was a statement from the people for the ethical treatment of animals. Different generations of Filipinos on Twitter talked about taking field trips to Manila, and they would always visit Molly the elephant, lamenting that she had died alone. One user recalled her first sighting of her 11 years ago, saying, "Seeing Molly walk around, you will feel how lonely this elephant is. It broke my heart, and now it was announced that Molly has died. Sad about Molly, the famous elephant in the Philippines, for passing away. Hoping no more elephants will be confined to zoos." So, Molly, the world's saddest and loneliest elephant, unfortunately passed away this week in the Philippines after 40 years in captivity in the Manila Zoo. Next up, my friends, as you know, AI chatbots are all the rage. Google has one, Microsoft has one, and now Amazon has one. Naming it Q, not after the wackos online thinking that there are secret sex dungeons underneath pizza shops, but Q after James Bond, called Amazon Q. It'll be connected to a variety of business software tools. It's free to try now, but eventually it'll be $20 per person per month. And it's aimed towards business users using their Amazon services and whatnot. The product was announced at the Amazon's Web Services reInvent Conference in Las Vegas, represent Amazon's latest effort to challenge Microsoft and Google in productivity software. It comes 1 year after Microsoft-backed startup OpenAI launched ChatGPT, which has popularized generative artificial intelligence for crafting human-like text in response to a few lines of human input. Once the preview, all the features are kind of previewed right now, but once that's over, it will cost $20 for business users. A version with additional features for developers and IT workers will be $25 per person. Copilot for Microsoft 365 and Duet AI for Google Workspace for business workers are both $30 per person per month. Initially, Q can help people understand the capabilities of AWS, Amazon Web Services, and troubleshoot issues. People will be able to talk with it in communication apps such as Salesforce, Slack, and software developers' text editing applications. According to Adam Soboletsky, CEO of AWS, and said during the onstage presentation, it will also appear in AWS's online management console. Q can provide citations of documents to back up its chat responses. So, interesting. Not really my thing. According to Stephen Dickens, vice president and practice leader of the Futureman Group, a technology research firm, said AWS Q will be a game changer for AWS customers who have a plethora of service options, sometimes overlapping to navigate. AWS has resisted the urge to make an AI assistant for each service in its portfolio. As a result, I expect Q to become widely adopted in the months ahead by both developers and cloud admins alike. So, I don't do that stuff, so I'll never use it. But if it helps, hey, I'm all for it. I don't even know how AWS stuff works, but it is another business productivity tool being pushed out there. Amazon's got one, Google's got one, Microsoft got one. Amazon is the latest to enter this market. Moving on to U.S. life expectancy. Guess what, folks? It rose after 2 years of decline. U.S. life expectancy rose in 2022 due to fewer COVID-19 deaths. After 2 consecutive years of declines, life expectancy in the United States increased between 2021 and 2022, according to new federal data. Life expectancy, defined as the average number of years a person is expected to live from the time they were born, rose in the U.S. from 76.4 in 2021 to 77.5 in 2022, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and the National Center for Health Statistics. While the increase is notable, it does not fully make up for the 2.4 years of life expectancy decline from 2019 to 2021, which is mainly due to the increased excess deaths as a result of COVID-19. Prior to this increase, life expectancy had fallen to the lowest level seen in 26 years, according to the data. From the annual report, the NCHS looked at 2022 provisional mortality data and compared that to the final 2021 data from the National Vital Statistics System. The report found that the life expectancy between the sexes had also changed, although both saw increases between 2021 and 2022. Male life expectancy had increased to 74.8, increase of 1.3 years. Females had a life expectancy of 80.2, an increase of 0.9 years. There is still a gap between the sexes, but it decreased to 5.4 years from 5.8 years. This is still larger than it was before. The author noted that between 2000 and 2010, life expectancy between the sexes had narrowed to 4.8, but had increased in 2021 to levels not seen since 1996, where the difference was 6 years. Life expectancy for every racial ethnic group, including increased, including 2.3 years for American Indians and / Native Americans, 2.2 years for Hispanics, 1.6 years for the black population, 1.0 years for Asians, and 0.8 years, 0.8 years for those of the Caucasian persuasion. Despite the increase, American Indians, Alaska Natives still had the lowest life expectancy in the United States at 67.9 years, while Asians had the highest life expectancy at 84.5. Additionally, while life expectancy for Black Americans has steadily lowered that of white Americans, the gap has been narrowing for the last 3 decades, according to the report. The report also looked at the reasons for the increase of life expectancy. For the total population, more than 84% of the increase was credited due to the decreases in COVID-19 mortality. In 2021, there were 460,000 COVID deaths compared to 244,000 in 2022, according to CDC data. Additionally, decreases in deaths from heart disease, unintentional injuries, and cancer, as well as homicides, helped increase the life expectancy. The author noted that life expectancy would have been even greater if not for the increases in deaths due to influenza, pneumonia, kidney disease, nutritional deficiencies, congenital malformations, and prenatal conditions. It could have been even higher. So, hooray! We're living a little bit longer because we're not dying of COVID. Pop the champagne. We now go to music news, where Shane MacGowan, frontman of the Pogues, passed away this week at the age of 65. A singer-songwriter from Ireland, frontman of a Celtic punk band, The Pogues, best known for the Christmas ballad Fairy Tale of New York, died Thursday. He was 65. In a statement released by his wife, Victoria Clark, and his sister, Siobhan, and his father, Maurice, said, quote, "It with the deepest sorrow and heaviest hearts that we announce the passing of our most beautiful, darling, and dearly beloved Shane MacGowan. He died in his peacefully asleep with his family at his side. The musician had been hospitalized in Dublin for several months after being diagnosed with viral encephalitis in late 2022. He was discharged last week ahead of his upcoming birthday on Christmas Day. The Pogues were a fusion of Irish traditional music and rock and roll into a unique, intoxicating blend. MacGowan became famous for his soulful, slurred performances, as well as his powerful songwriting. His songs blended a scabrous and sentimental range from carousing anthems to snapshots of life in the gutter, unexpectedly through tender love songs. The Pogues' most famous song, Fairy Tale of New York, is a bittersweet Christmas classic that opens with decidedly unfestive words, "It was Christmas Eve, babe, in the drunk tank." Sinn Féin President Mary Lou McDonald was among many in Ireland paying tribute to MacGowan. Quote, "Shane was a poet, a dreamer, and a champion of social justice." According to the president, nobody told the Irish story like Shane. Stories of immigration, heartache, dislocation, redemption, love, and joy. He was born on Christmas Day in 1957 in England to Irish parents. MacGowan spent his early years in rural Ireland before his family moved back to London. Ireland remained the lifelong center of his imagination and yearning. He grew up steeped in Irish music, absorbed from family and neighbors, along with the sounds of rock, Motown, reggae, and jazz. He embraced the punk scene in the 1970s, joined a band called the Nipple Erectors, performed under the name Shane O'Hooligan before forming the Pogues alongside musicians including Jem Finer and Spider Stacy. The Pogues, shortened from the original name Pogue Mahone, a rude Irish phrase apparently, fused punk's furious energy with traditional Irish melodies and instruments including the banjo, tin whistle, and the accordion. Quote, "It never occurred to me that you could play Irish music to a rock audience," he said, A Drink with Shane MacGowan, a 2001 memoir co-authored with Clark. "Then it finally clicked. Started a London Irish band playing Irish music with a rock and roll beat. The original idea was just to rock up old ones, but then I started writing." The band's first album was Red Roses for Me, released in 1984, featured rockish versions of Irish folk songs along with originals Boys from County Hell, Dark Streets of London, and Streams of Whiskey. MacGowan wrote many songs for the next two albums, Rum, Sodomy, and Lash, and If I Should Fall from Grace with God, ranging from rollicking rousers and later albums titled to track ballads like A Pair of Brown Eyes and A Broad Majestic Shannon. The Pogues were briefly on top of the world with sold-out performances in the U.S. and television, but the band's output and appearances grew more erratic due to MacGowan's struggles with alcohol and drugs. He was fired from the band in 1991. He performed with a new band, Shane MacGowan and the Popes, before reuniting with the Pogues in 2001 for concerts and series. He had a series of health problems and used a wheelchair after breaking his pelvis over a decade ago. He was long famous for his broken, rotting teeth until he received a full set of implants in 2015 from a dental surgeon who described the procedure, quote, "the Mount Everest of dentistry." Go figure. MacGowan received a Lifetime Achievement Award from Irish President Michael D. Higgins on his 60th birthday. The occasion was marked with celebratory concert at the National Concert Hall in Dublin with performers that included Bono, Nick Cave, Sinead O'Connor, and Johnny Depp. Clark wrote on Instagram, quote, "There's no way to describe the loss I'm feeling and the longing, just one more of his smiles that lit up the world. I am blessed beyond words to have met," this is his wife, "met him and loved him and have been so endlessly, unconditionally loved by him, to have had so many years of life and love and joy and fun and laughter and so many adventures." So, Shane MacGowan, lead singer of the Pogues, passed away at the age of 65, well known for his Christmas ballad, Fairy Tale of New York. Check it out. It's a song that they play quite often on very alternative music stations. So sad to hear that. Great band, great Irish rock band. Definitely listen to some of their music this week. Moving on to automotive news. Tesla's Cybertruck launched this week, and it is truly an ugly vehicle. Holy moly, why would anyone even remotely be seen driving around in this monstrosity of right angles and sharp edges? It's stupid looking. It first debuted in 2019, where Elon Musk, before he bought Twitter and drove it into the ground to break the unbreakable glass, throwing a bowling ball, only to have it shatter. Since that 4 years, it's been repeatedly delayed due to various supply chain pressures. Competition has also heated up, with Ford and Rivian beating Tesla to the market with the electric pickup trucks on its own. Electric vehicle pickup trucks is a lucrative market. 3 of the best-selling automotives in 2023 have been pickups, according to Car and Driver, with Ford, the F-Series, holding a dominant position. Releasing an all-electric pickup is a shot across the bow at Ford and GM in particular, said Dan Ives, a senior analyst at the investment firm Wedbush, which means Thursday's product will be watched closely to see what happens. Quote, in previous years, Tesla would do things and the automotive industry would dust it off like a mosquito. But now that Tesla has changed the industry, there is much more focus on what they're coming out with. I'm not so impressed with this Cybertruck. It's an ugly looking vehicle. Whatever. He says the exoskeleton is nearly impenetrable. The unique angular frame design is built of cold-rolled stainless steel, setting it apart from the F-150 and Silverado models that closely resembled their gas-powered predecessors. Apparently, it's bulletproof. Of course, you just need a bulletproof electric car. Why not? It said it should help eliminate dents, damage, and long-term corrosion. It's also hard to make because of the massive steel frame could contribute to production issues and cost. The company has none of the business advantages that comes with building a pre-existing manufacturing template like the Ford F1 series, according to experts. The parts that go into the Cybertruck generally can't be spread across the company's other offerings, making it more expensive to produce. Musk has admitted that ramping up to meet demand has been challenging. Quote, I just want to temper expectations for the Cybertruck, Musk said in October 2nd call with investors. It's a great product, but financially, it'll take a year to 18 months before it is a significantly positive cash flow contributor. Based on 2019 specifications, the towing capacity of 1,400 pounds, a battery range of 500 miles. The towing capacity is advertised currently at 7,000 to 11,000 pounds, depending on the model. The battery range has been scaled back from the 2019 estimate, coming up at 320 miles for the most expensive model and 250 miles for the cheapest. The company previously advertised a 0 to 60 acceleration of 2.9 seconds, making it competitive with performance sports cars of a decade ago. The company's most expensive model, the Cyber Beast, what a stupid name, apparently can get to 0 to 60 in 2.6 seconds. So if you want a Cybertruck, you can put down a, quote, fully refundable deposit for $250. The company has notched more than 1 million reservations. So that's it's a lot of money there. Reservations this way, Musk said with a call on investors. Wedbush Alice says the number of reservations is probably close to 2 million, but expects only 40 to 50% of that to follow through with the purchase. The final price of this truck also not clear. The company announced the vehicle in 2019. The price for the lower tier single motor version was just shy of $40,000, very competitive with today's electric cars, with the most expensive version selling around $70,000. However, prices are now much higher than those originals estimates as analysts predicted. The cheapest model is now $60,990. The all-wheel drive version is $79,990. And the most expensive model is $99,990, just shy of $100,000. Ha! Tesla plans to make more expensive models available first, go figure, in 2024, with the cheapest model scheduled for delivery by 2025. I would never, ever, even if I won the lottery, I would not buy a Cybertruck. This looks like a truly stupid vehicle, and I can only imagine the folks that drive them are the most obnoxious people you'll ever run into. So, no thank you, Elon. Hopefully you make it to 2025, because you're losing a whole lot of money. And I wonder what will come first: Twitter's demise or the cheapest Cybertruck available. Tough call. Folks, before I go on, I like to hang out in Berks County, especially the West Reading, Wyomissing area. And I'll tell you what, today, and this is why I was a little late getting out the podcast, usually in the morning, decided to check out a place to eat. Went to Fresh Breakfast Lunch. Tell you what, it is delicious. Oh my goodness, I had like a eggs Benedict over short rib quesadilla. It was fantastic. Had a little cocktail to go along with it. It was a delightful, delicious lunch/brunch, and you definitely should check them out, especially if you live in the Wyomissing, West Reading area. They are open only Tuesday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., and Sundays, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. for breakfast only. And it is really, 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 really good. I think it's fantastic. I had the Benedict's over the short rib quesadilla. It was fantastic. They have daily drink specials there, so I forgot what I got. I should have wrote it down. I posted a picture of it. It is really, really good. And you definitely need to check them out. Their slogan, according to the website, is, our slogan is curated for now, which means no matter the latest trend, what year we're in, or simply what has changed, Fresh will always have selections, ideas, adjustments to give people, guests, employees exactly what they're looking for when searching for a bite to eat or a place to work. And the waitress there, who was a sister of the owner, fantastic, a lovely person. I enjoyed it immensely. It was delightful. It was so good. And apparently they are opening a near place, a place closer to me, just down the street, called, I believe, the Crooked Hen. Definitely check that out as well. So can't wait to get my hands on the food there too. So my friends, be sure to check them out. I'll post a link here. FreshBreakfastFastLunch.com. Great URL. And check them out. Check them out in West Reading, Wyomissing, Reading, Central Berks County area. They're delicious. Tell them that Colt Sebastian Taylor sent you. You'll get nothing. But it'll be funny if they say, hey, people keep saying that. So check them out. FreshBreakfastFastLunch.com. Fresh, delightful breakfast/lunch place. I enjoy them so much, tremendously. And hey, who doesn't like a little cocktail with an Eggs Benedict? I know I do. We now move on to tech and news. Canada and Google strike the deal to keep news in search results. Canada and Google have reached a deal to keep news stories and search results for the internet to pay 100 million Canadian dollars, which is about 73 million US, annually to news publishers across the country. According to Canadian officials this week, the deal resolved the Alphabet-owned Google's concerns over Canada's online news law that seeks to make large internet companies share advertising revenue with news publishers in the country. A lot of Google and Facebook will have like these sort of news things on their websites for people to read. They make money after advertising, but these news outfits don't see any money from it, and it's been hurting news outfits. And Google and Facebook have threatened to remove news or block news URLs from their website unless this law change. But Google is going through with the law. So news will not be removed from Google. According to Heritage Minister Pascal Saint-Orange, The following weeks of productive discussions, I'm happy to announce that we have found a path forward with Google for implementing of the Online News Act. Canada's Online News Act, part of a global trend to make internet giants pay for news, passed in June. The government's finalizing its rules that are expected to be released by the December 19 deadline. Google confirmed that Ottawa had committed to addressing its core issues and that news will continue to be available on its platform in Canada. Google had said previously they would block news on the platform, saying that Canada's new law was more stringent than the ones in Europe and Australia, and raised concerns about the company being exposed to potentially uncapped liability. Facebook, aka Meta, and other internet giants that are targeted of the law have already blocked news sharing on Facebook and Instagram over concerns of the law. St. Orange said that the deal with Google shows that news law works, and calling Facebook to explain its decision to block news sharing in Canada. She added that Canada would also be able to reopen the agreement with Google in the future if there are better agreements reached elsewhere in the world. Last month, Google reached an agreement to pay a group of German publishers 3.2 million euros a year for publications of their news content. In a statement, Meta spokesman said the decision was unchanged. Quote, unlike search engines, we do not proactively pull news from the internet to place in our users' feed, and we have long been clear that the only way we can reasonably comply with the Online News Act is by ending news availability for the people of Canada. I don't know about that. Legislation came after companies within Canada's media industry, which wants tighter regulation of tech companies to prevent them from elbowing news business out of the online advertising market. As part of the deal with Canada, Google will annually contribute $100 million indexed to inflation to news businesses, and the company will have the option to work with a single collective to distribute the funds. It's very good news, according to Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, who told reporters in Ottawa, this is a deal, an agreement that is going to resonate around the world. Paul Deegan, the Chief Executive Officer of the industrial body News Media Canada, welcomed the agreement and thanked the government for ensuring cash compensation for publishers. Quote, we commend Google for their good faith, social responsible approach. So, hey, good for them. News is important. And if they could get a little more funding, all the better. So I think Google made a good move on this part. Facebook, they're terrible, so they probably won't do anything. So we'll see what happens. And boy, if they ask for money from Twitter, don't even bother. Twitter has no money. They have no money. They have no advertisers at all. In entertainment news, the final two hosts for Saturday Night Live this week was announced. And it's going to be Kate McKinnon, former cast member, and Adam Driver. Tonight, I should get this posted tonight. Tonight, Emma Stone will be joining the Five Timers Club with Noah Khan as musical guest. Adam Driver will come on December 9th, returning for his fourth time hosting. Also, Emma Stone will be joining the Five Timers Club. I hope they do something with that. And then for the holiday show, former SNL cast member Kate McKinnon will return for the first time hosting since her departure from the show in season 47 in 2022. McKinnon will celebrate her role as Weird Barbie in the blockbuster Barbie movie. She was great. And will be joined by musical guest Billie Eilish, also very talented, who is currently on the charts and Grammy nominated for the Barbie soundtrack song, What Was I Made For? In the Emma Stone's first promo of the show this week, she said what the secret of comedy was, and there's a long pause, and then she's about to say timing, but just gets one syllable out before it cuts to Emma Stone hosting. It's pretty funny. McKinnon, let's say, left SNL. Talked about in Live with Kelly and Ryan in 2022. Quote, she said behind her reasons for leaving, I thought about it for a very long time, and it was very, very hard. All I ever wanted to do in my whole life was be on Saturday Night Live. So I did. I loved it. I had the best decade. And then I was just like, my body is tired. I felt like it was time. Good idea. It was probably a good idea. So anyways, if you're a fan, Emma Stone, hilarious. Kate McKinnon, hilarious. Adam Driver, also hilarious. Those are three strong hosts three strong hosts for the last shows of 2023. Should check them out. I probably check the highlights. I don't stay up that late on Saturdays in a sober condition. but I'll definitely check out the highlights and the sketches the day after. In fact, a lot of times they post these sketches moments after they air online. So I'll probably watch them late tonight too. Next up, in a story that will surely drive my grandmother crazy, Kraft Macaroni and Cheese has now announced a dairy-free mac and cheese in the United States. The Kraft Heinz Company is bringing a dairy-free macaroni and cheese to the U.S. for the first time. The company said the new recipe has the same creamy texture of its beloved 85-year-old recipe of mac and cheese, but replaces dairy with ingredients like fava bean protein and coconut oil powder. Well, I can't try that because I'm allergic to coconuts. The plant-based Kraft Not Mac and Cheese, it's a funny name, will be rolled out in the U.S. stores in a few months and was developed in collaboration with Notco, a Chicago startup that makes plant-based milk burgers and other products. Kraft Heinz, based in Pittsburgh and Chicago, formed a joint venture with Notco last year. The joint venture, called Kraft Heinz Notco, has already released non-dairy cheese slices and mayonnaise in the U.S. and plans to add more products to begin with an international distributor next year. Kraft Heinz began selling vegan macaroni and cheese in Australia in 2021, but this is the first time it's being sold in the United States. Kraft Heinz Notco CEO Lucha Lopez May said the sale of plant-based macaroni and cheese products were outpacing the overall category, but is less than 30% of buyers that purchase products the second time, citing disappointing taste and texture. Lopez May said that Kraft Heinz Notco aims to meet consumer preferences for plant-based foods that have familiar flavors that don't force them to make drastic changes to their eating habits. Kraft sells more than 1 million boxes of original mac and cheese every day. Every day. That's 365 million boxes a year. Pretty impressive. Not mac and cheese will be available in white cheddar and original flavors. While it's made from plants, not mac and cheese isn't necessarily healthier than the original. When fully prepared with margarine and almond milk, 1 cup of not mac and cheese has 450 calories. By comparison, 1 cup of original mac and cheese prepared with margarine and 2% milk has 350 calories. Plant-based dry mix is higher in fat and carbohydrates, but it's also lower in cholesterol and has more protein and fiber. Plus, if you have dairy concerns, you won't have those dairy concerns with that. So, hey, listen, mac and cheese folks, they know what they're doing. So if there's one folks that can do it right, it's Heinz Kraft. So hopefully, I can't do it because I'm allergic to coconut, so I'm not going to risk that by having coconut oil powder. But someone try it, tell me how it is, and, have at it. Well, my friends, that just about wraps up this week's Side Report with me, Colt Sebastian Taylor. First weekend in December, my friends. That's where we are right now. And I'll tell you what, we're only 1, 2, 3 weekends away from Christmas Eve on Sunday. So, you better get those cards rented up pretty soon. And holiday shopping, orders done online, because there's a crunch with shipping. So once again, my friends, thank you for listening to Side Report with Colt Sebastian Taylor. Listen, you can follow me on the Twitter, the Facebook, the Instagram, Cameo. I just did a wonderful cameo for a family, as well as ColtSebastianTaylor.com. Check out my Wednesday night D&D game, Longshots D&D, on Twitch.tv. And of course, if you're listening to this, then you're listening on Anchor.fm/ColtSTaylor. Thank you for following. And once again, check out Fresh. If you live in Berks County, I'll post a link there too. Very good, delightful eats. I'm gonna go. I might even go back there next weekend. Until next time, my friends, I'm of course your Hollywood Walk of Fame starless friend, Colt Sebastian Taylor, and I'll see you later.